you touched someone on the rear end and that you did it for the purpose of sexual gratification, meaning there was a sexual element to this. Wasn't just accidentally slapping someone on the butt. Mr. Saylor plans to plead guilty to count 1, gross sexual imposition. That's a felony 4 that carries up to 18 months in prison and a maximum fine of $5,000. Have I stated that correctly, Mr. Staton?
You have, Your Honor.
This is as charged, right?
It is, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Saylor, do you understand what you're doing, sir?
Yes, so pleading guilty to everything so I could get probation or go home sooner.
Okay, I think what your attorney was advised is that you are eligible for probation and the state is not taking a position or objecting to probation.
Okay.
Okay? You also have, how much credit does he have?
Almost 8 months, Your Honor.
Okay. So, but there's other things that apply here. This
Okay.
particular charge will require you to register as a sex offender. And I haven't looked, but I believe it's for, is it 10 years?
Correct, Your Honor, 10 years.
Correct.
Tier
Okay.
1.
That means you have to register. Is this a tier 2?
Tier 1.
Tier 1, Your Honor.
Tier 1 sex offender. For a period of 15 years,
It is 15 years.
you will have to register in person annually, meaning once a year you have to go in and register with the sheriff of the county in which you reside. I'll go into more detail about that in just a moment.
Okay.
Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, so
And if you don't, they could file a criminal charge against you and you could go to prison on the second offense. If you failed to register more than once, it's mandatory prison for, I believe, 2 years. Is that correct, Mr. Hardman?
With a violation of the registration offense.
Yes.
I don't
Second
think it's
offense.
mandatory, but
Yeah, I think it's mandatory, second offense.
second offense, yes, I'm sorry. Second offense, you would be mandatory time in prison, yes.
Okay. Do you understand that?
yes.
There's some concern that your attorneys expressed that you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to accomplish that. Do you think you can follow that requirement?
Yes, go back to Alabama, stay off of the drugs, and go and get mental health treatment. While I got set up down there, I got to go to the mental hospital, do outpatient, and get back on all my meds, stay away from the street drugs.
He wants to know, do you think you can register once a year?
Yes.
Well, I can't hear what your attorney's whispering to you, so I'm going to ask you, do you understand that you will have to register in the county in which you reside in Alabama?
Yes.
Now, there are other requirements that I'm going to go over with you, but it's lengthy and sometimes confusing, so I'm trying to make this as straightforward as I can.
Okay.
All right. You also could go to prison on this case for 18 months, and you have credit for approximately 8 months is what I'm told. So you still could go to prison for another 10 months on this case if you were sentenced to that. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, so
You could also be put on probation, but probation has rules. And if you don't follow the rules of probation, then you could go back, you could go to prison then for the rest of your sentence. Do you understand?
yes, so
Okay, I want to go over your rights with you. You have a right to have a trial. You have a right to have your case tried before a jury of 12 people. They're here. They're in the room down the hall. we can bring those jurors in here, and before you could be convicted, all 12 of those jurors would have to agree that the state had proven the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that, sir?
Not really.
Okay. I'll start over. You have a right to have a trial, and you can have a trial to the judge. You elected to have a jury trial at the last pretrial, meaning you want a jury to hear your case, because all 12 of those people would have to agree that the state had proven you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt before you could be convicted of this charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That means if one juror doesn't agree, then you cannot be convicted. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You have a right to have witnesses ordered to appear and testify at your request, meaning if you know somebody that you'd like to have come in and testify who knows something about this case, the court will order them to come in. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have a right to confront every witness who testifies against you at trial.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what that means.
I don't know.
Okay, so please, don't say yes, you understand it if you don't understand it. I'll tell you, and if you understand it after I tell you, fine. If you don't, then I'll try to explain it in a different way.
Okay.
All right. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to prove that you committed this offense, meaning you touched someone, in this case, I think, on the rear end, and that you did it for the purpose of sexual gratification, meaning there was a sexual element to this. It wasn't just accidentally slapping someone on the butt. Do you understand that?
No, I don't understand that, but
Okay, tell me what you do understand about what I said.
only thing I did was forcibly get into the car. I ended up grabbing her butt on accident, but I was trying to steal out of the car.
Okay. Well, apparently there's going to be a lot of testimony that you were continuing to gratify yourself, meaning masturbating after this happened. Are you aware that they allege that this is what occurred?
No, I didn't know all that. I was like on all them drugs. I didn't know what happened.
You were on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the allegation. Well, that's not an excuse.
Okay.
Unfortunately for you, if you do something while you're under the influence of drugs, it's not an excuse for what you did. So you have to remember that. It doesn't mean that it happened, but it means someone says it happened, and then they've got you doing all these other things, masturbating basically, for a long period of time in a bathroom of the gas station and in the ambulance, things like that. So that's what they're going to prove. That's what they're going to offer today.
I want to hear all that. I just want to take a plea.
Okay, I understand you do, but I want to make sure you understand what you're pleading to, and I'm giving you some of the evidence. So you keep saying, basically, I just reached in and accidentally touched her. They're saying that's not true. They're going to have witnesses testify that you had your hand on her rear end, and they're going to have testimony about these other things I've just said. So that's what they're about to put on before a jury in this case. That's so you know what evidence you're facing is what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand if a jury chooses to believe that to be true, you could be convicted of this charge of sexual imposition,
Yes.
gross sexual imposition? Okay. Now we've gone over your right to have a trial. We've gone over your right to challenge the witnesses who testify, meaning your attorney can try and show that what they're saying may be from poor memory, may be exaggerated, something like that. He can question the people who testified against you. Do you understand that? You have to answer out loud.
Yes, sir.
You have a right to have your own witnesses come in and explain what they saw too. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Can I press charges on the person who gave me a black eye, her boyfriend? Because he chased after me and he beat me up in the parking lot.
Well, you'd have to talk to, where did this happen?
This happened in Franklin, Your Honor.
Franklin?
They are aware of those allegations. It is not their intentions to file charges against them.
You have a right to go to the prosecutor in Franklin and explain what happened. And the prosecutor can decide whether or not there's a basis for the charge. If the prosecutor decides there's not a basis for the charge, you can also file a charge yourself. It's called a private complaint. You can do that, and then that person could have a trial as well. So yeah, you do have the right to pursue that.
Okay.
All right. You have the right against self-incrimination. That means you don't have to answer questions. You don't have to testify. You don't have to offer any proof. You don't have to offer any evidence. You can just require the state to prove this case against you without any input from you. You don't have to testify, and if you choose not to testify, it won't be held against you. Tell me what you think that means.
That you could testify or you don't have to testify against yourself.
Correct. And if you do not testify, I would tell the jury they could not consider that, they could not discuss it during their deliberations. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Those are your constitutional rights. If you plead guilty, you're giving up those rights. You're waiving those rights. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
This carries supervision by the adult parole authority, meaning if you were to be sentenced to prison, even if you serve the entire 18 months, the adult parole authority could supervise you after your release for 5 years. Be mandatory. They would supervise you for a period of 5 years after your release. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the adult parole authority is?
Yes, sir. Like probation.
They're parole officers, meaning parole and probation mean basically the same thing. So, but they're parole officers, and if you violate the rules while you're out during that 5-year period, the parole officer can send you back to prison for 9 months, a total of 9 months. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That means you wouldn't even see a judge. Parole officer says you're going back. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you are convicted of a new felony during the period of supervision, during that 5-year period, the court that has the new felony case could revoke the post-release control, and they could add a year to the sentence in the case of the new felony, minimum of a year. Or they could add the remaining time that you have on supervision. So that's a lot of time. If they're supervising you for 5 years and you commit a new felony 1 year after your release, the court that has the new felony case can add 4 years to the sentence in that new felony case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's a significant consequence at that point for sure. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I just ain't going to mess up anymore. I'm just going to stay my butt home, do what I'm supposed to do, and
Well,
stay off of the drugs.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If you use drugs, then you lose your judgment, and then you do things that you wish you hadn't. So if you get help and do not abuse drugs, probably never going to be in a court system again. Hope. That's my hope. Okay?
Yes, sir.
But if you do, it could be serious consequences, meaning a long time in prison. That's the point I'm trying to get across to you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you went 4 years or more without a problem, but you committed a new felony before that 5-year period ended, they could still add a year to the sentence in the new felony case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a lot of information for anybody to process. Do you feel you understand the consequences of pleading guilty?
Yes, so don't mess up anymore, and you don't have to worry about it.
Correct, but if you do, then the consequences are severe.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I think I have to go over the sex offender registration form before he enters the plea.
I think you have to at least, notify him of his requirement about the number of years he has to register and
Right.
where, restrictions on where he can live.
Tell me how many years you think you would have to register as a sex offender after today.
15?
That's right, yeah. How often do you have to register?
Once a year?
Okay, you're doing well. You have to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you reside. And if it's Alabama, what county in Alabama would you be living in?
Sardis, Etowah County?
What is it?
My mom and my dad knows. My mom is over there
Okay, do you know where you're going to be living in Alabama?
at the trailer park, Sardis, Etowah County.
Okay, then you have to go to the sheriff within 3 days of getting to Alabama and register as a sex offender.
Okay.
Now, if it's a mobile home park, I don't know if they allow sex offenders to live there. If they don't, then you'll have to find another place to live. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. My Aunt Becky owns it.
Okay, your aunt owns it? Your aunt owns the trailer park?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then that shouldn't be a problem for you, I would think. I wouldn't think it would be. But I just have to tell you this.
Okay.
Wherever you live, you have to notify the sheriff and register each year. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
That's a big consequence, and that's one of the things that really I wish didn't have to happen in this case, but I think the state legislature's intent is to protect the public, so that's why it's required. So that's why I'm spending all this time explaining it to you. You okay with that?
Yes, sir. My leg just killing me. I got shot about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and that bullet wound in my right leg is killing me right now.
Would it help if you sit down?
Sure.
Okay.
Ow.
Are you on any medication?
Just Booster and Devicoat and Zapretza.
Do any of those affect your ability to think clearly and understand?
I don't really know. My mom and my dad said I got autism, dyslexia disability, and I'm autistic with ADHD and all that. He could understand me because my mom talked to him. She's back here.
Okay. It sounds to me like you've understood pretty well what we've gone over because you've answered questions correctly. It's a logical answer to say, I don't know for sure, because most people don't know how medication affects them. But you seem to be understanding what I'm saying, understanding what the consequences of your decision are, That's what it seems to me. If you think that's not right, tell me.
Sometimes it ain't right, but most of the time it is right.
Let's talk about today when I went over it with you. Have you understood what I've said?
Yeah, I understand everything.
Okay. Mr. Hardman, is there anything that you think I need to address with Mr. Saylor before I go forward?
No, Your Honor, I think you've very sufficiently covered all of his constitutional rights. I think he's made it very clear that he understands those rights and the consequences of his entering a plea today.
Thank you. Mr. Staton, do you feel there's anything I've omitted?
I do not, Your Honor, and I have also gone over the same information with my client. I'm confident he understands.
Okay. Mr. Saylor, do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, sir, I sure do. I just want to go to a program, which is up here if I can't go back to Alabama with my mom. Like, I want to go back to the Phoenix program because I could smoke my cigarettes.
Okay, what's your question?
So when I'm going to get out?
Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to order a pre-sentence investigation. That takes about 8 weeks for them to complete that. If I believe that it's safe to release you, I may release you before that's done, before it's returned, after you've been interviewed.
Okay.
I may, but there may be something that tells me, no, you're going to have to wait until sentencing, which is about 8 weeks from now. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, so just have a good day driving home because it's been a lot of snow on the grounds.
Okay, well, thank you.
God bless all y'all.
All right, sir. What is your charge? What is your plea to gross sexual imposition?
I'm guilty.
All right, I find this to be a knowing and voluntary waiver. Of constitutional rights. I make a finding of guilty. Order a pre-sentence investigation. Is there anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor, not this time.
Mr. Staton?
Nothing further from us, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Just for the record, there's no requirement that the victim be notified that he's pled guilty, but I
Yeah.
guess they're here, aren't they?
They were actually supposed to be here at 9:30, so I expect them to be walking in the door, but we will notify them. I think we've complied with, she has notice of today's date. I think so. As far as Marsh's law, we've complied with that. He's pled his charge. She certainly will have the opportunity to provide a PSI, a victim impact statement as part of the PSI.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. We're adjourned, and we'll have you back here for sentencing, and I'll review this once I get some preliminary information from the PSI people. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Under Ohio Revised Code Section 2907.05.
In today's courtroom case, a defendant facing a charge of gross sexual imposition made a last-minute decision to plead guilty before his jury trial could begin. Instead of rushing through the process, the judge carefully explained every legal right the defendant would be giving up by entering a guilty plea. Throughout the hearing, the judge repeatedly asked questions to make sure the defendant truly understood the consequences of his decision. The court discussed the possible sentence of up to 18 months in prison, the possibility of probation, and the requirement to register as a sex offender for 15 years. The judge also warned that failing to follow registration rules or violating probation could lead to even more prison time. The defendant admitted that drug use had played a role in his poor decisions and told the court he wanted to stay away from drugs, receive mental health treatment, and rebuild his life after returning to Alabama. Despite some confusion during the hearing, the judge took extra time to explain everything until he was satisfied that the plea was made knowingly and voluntarily. At the end of the hearing, the defendant officially pleaded guilty, and the judge accepted the plea. However, sentencing was not announced that day. Instead, the court ordered a pre-sentence investigation, which will help determine the final punishment. This case highlights how seriously courts treat guilty pleas. Before accepting one, judges must ensure that defendants fully understand the charges, the evidence, the penalties, and the constitutional rights they are giving up. It also shows the long-term legal consequences that can follow a felony conviction. What are your thoughts on this courtroom hearing? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real courtroom stories and legal updates.